ही जगदाता विश्व विधाता, तू ही जगदाता विश्व विधाता, तू ही जगदाता विश्व विधाता, तू ही सुख है तू ही शांत, तेरा 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 जग में सजो तेरो नाम, तेरा 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 तेरा।
हरि ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। भूर्भुवस्सुहं पवित्रेषु वैष्णवेयो सवितुर्वहं पुनेशं पवित्रेषु सदग्रामः पुनीतकेयं वा आपैतपतिर्वा सर्वावस्थानोपदेशं पुनरीकाक्षं भावयान्तरं शुचिः। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमस्कारं तं कर्पयामि। हरि ओम यजमान भाले स्वस्तिकं स्वस्तिनायन्द्र सर्वाहं स्वस्तिनः भूखा विषवेदाः स्वस्तिनतान् चर्कणेमि स्वस्तिनो भवतु ईविर गर्मसिताभिमस्कादिस्पिंग। हरि ओम भूर्भुवस्सुः हम स्वस्तिनायन्द्र सर्वाहं स्वस्तिनः भूखा विषवेदाः स्वस्तिनतान् चर्कणेमि स्वस्तिनो भवतु स्वस्ति स्त्रियाविनाशाख्यां पुण्यकल्याणवृद्धिदा विनायकं प्रियाणि तन्नस्तिं कुर्वन् पुनः। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। नमस्कारं तं नमस्करोमि। विकर्मसिताभिमस्कारां स्मशानदेवता महादेवताभिमस्कारं तं प्रियता नमो नमः। नमस्काराभिमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। भूर्भुवस्सुः हरि ओम। श्री गणेशाय नमः। भूर्भुवस्सुः विष्णुर्विष्णुः श्रीमद् भगवतमहामनस्य तदीय ब्रह्मपराधे श्री श्रीद्वारकल्पे वैपस्सन् मनोदृष्टामु कलियुगे कलिपदं चरणे भारतवर्षे जम्बुद्विपुण्यविधर्मासनमासे भूर्भुवस्सुः हरि ओम। चैत्रमासे शुक्लपक्षे पुण्यं विधोवासरमिदायं श्रेष्ठभागे आजगदहानित्यमात्रैकं भृगुवासरे सुनक्षत्रे सुवियोगे शुभकरणे ग्रहजमृत्या ब्राह्मण द्वारा अंतिष्टम क्रिया नाम नाम यजमानस्य। आपका नाम क्या है? ईश्वर नाम नाम रजगोत्रस्य कर्मस्य अंतिष्ट क्रिया ब्राह्मण द्वारा च अहं करिष्ये। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। नमस्कारं तं नमस्करोमि। भूर्भुवस्सुः कर्मविताभ्यो नमो नमः। अथ तिलकं महाभूर्भुवस्सुः हम स्वस्तिनायन्द्र सर्वाहं स्वस्तिनः पूषा विषवेदाः स्वस्तिनतान् चरिष्णेमि स्वस्ति नोः बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। हरि ओम महाभद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवां भद्रं पश्येम समित्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः जीवर्षेमहि देवहितं जदायुः। येभिर्कर्म तन्दरश्च महत्पुण्यं दुर्व्यासनं वः वैद्यक्रमृताभिनमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। येभिर्कर्म तिलकनादाय कुङ्कुमृताभिनमस्कारं तं नमो नमः। नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। हरि ओम गंगे च यमुने चैव गोदावरी सरस्वती नर्मदे सिंधु कावेरी जलेस्मिन् कुरु। ब्रह्माण्डतीरं तीर्थं दिव्यदिवाकरं तुलसीपत्रस्य बिल्वपत्रलिता नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। शिविरकर्मदिताभ्यो नमो नमः। तुलसीनादाय पुरुषोत्तम देवताभ्यो नमस्कारं तं गणपते नमः। सर्वः परुषमिताभ्यो नमो नमः। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। गंगे यमुना उदरे पूर्व अलस्थानं मलकस्थानम् एवं कर्मस्य प्रियतां नमो नमः। हरि ओम तुलसीपत्रनादाय तुलसीमुखस्य कर्णं पुरदेवी एभिर्कर्मस्य तुलसीमाताय नमस्कारं शान्ताकारं मृदुशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगजीर्धनजं वन्दे विष्णु भवरं सर्वलोकनाथं। दर्पयः सत्कर्मयोजिताभ्यो नमो नमः। नमस्कारं तं सूर्यामि वित्रमकं ददामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिं वर्धनं वः पूर्वार्विन्दरानुवृत्तिमुक्षिमामृतात् तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्रः प्रचोदयात्। एभिर्कर्मसिताभ्यो नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। नमस्कारं तं नमस्करोमि। आर्भावर्तयिताभ्यो नमो नमः। चरणपादुकायिताभ्यो नमः। विपत्तिताभ्यो नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि नमस्करोमि। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम भूर्भुवस्सुः साम सदाशिवाय महारुद्राय नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। ओम धर्मकं ददामहे सुगन्धिं मुष्टिं वर्धनं भाववार्वीवन्दनां मृत्युमुक्षिममृताहं। नमो सरन्ताय सहस्रमूर्तये सहस्रपादाय शिजुर्भावे सहस्रनामे पुरुषाय स्वासरे सहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमः। पूर्वसादरादि प्रार्थनापूर्वकं पितृलोकं समर्पयामि। नमस्कारं तं नमस्करोमि। एभिर्कर्मसिताभ्यो नमो नमः। सिद्धकर्मलिताभ्यो नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। एतत्कर्मचरिताभ्यो नमो नमः। चन्दनतिलकस्य कुङ्कुमनादायः। तिलदेवताभ्यो नमः। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तिलदेवताभ्यो नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। तिलदेवताभ्यो नमस्कारं कर्मस्य महादेवताप्रियता नमस्कारं तं नमस्करोमि। रुद्राक्षमालाः नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। एभिः कर्मदेवताभ्यो नमः। भूर्भुवस्सुवः पवित्रकरणं महा। हरि ओं महं पवित्रेस्तु वैष्णव्यो सवितुर्वहं पवित्रेण पवित्रेण सूर्यरश्मिभिः तशते पवित्रकामहं पुणे तशकेयं मह पवित्रकरणं नमस्कारं नमस्करोमि। हरि ओं महा पितृदेवताभ्यो नमस्कारं नमस्करोमि। भूर्भुवस्सुवः ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। प्रियता नमो नमः। इंद्रशपिंडलिताभ्यो नमः। हरि ओं नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यवौतो तैकवे नमः। बाहुभ्यमुतते नमः। जाते रुद्रशिवा तनूर्घोरा पापकाशिनी तया न सन्ध्वा सन्तमया गिरिसन्ता विचाकसिः। हरि ओं भूर्भुवस्सुवः। ओं हरि ओं कर्मचरिताभ्यो नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। कुङ्कुम चन्दन नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। भूर्भुवस्सुनादायः विष्णुपरिवरदिताभ्यो नमो नमः। एभिः कर्म च चन्दनस्य महत्पुण्यमृताभ्यो नमस्कारं तं नमो नमः। पुष्पार्पणं पिण्डदेवताभ्यो नमो नमः। नमस्कारं तं नमस्करोमि। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तैगम पादेवताभ्यो नमो नमः। तिलकं कुङ्कुम चन्दनस्य पितृदेवस्य देवानां प्रसादनामे एभिः कर्म च नमो नमः। First finger in the roll and the tilakam. हरि ओं स्वस्ति न इंद्र धरस्रवाहं स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्वेदाहं स्वस्ति न तारक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नोः बृहस्पतिदातु स्वस्ति स्तुया विनाशाख्यं पुण्यकल्याणवृद्धिदा विनायकं प्रियानित्यं चादस्तिं ब्रुवन्तु न। हरि ओं ओं त्र्यम्बकं जजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिं वर्धनं उर्वारुकमिन्द्रनामृत्युमुक्षममुदादः। ओं नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अते परमात्मनाथाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। शीतलनादाय ओं नमो भगवते गीताभ्यो नमो नमः। कर्मयोगी नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। ओं भूर्भुवस्सुवः। हरि ओं एभिः कर्मचरिताभ्यो नमो नमः। नमस्कारं तं नमो नमः। ओं भूर्भुवस्सुवः। वामदेवाय नमस्कारं गीताभ्यो नमो नमः। गीताभ्यो नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। ओं भूर्भुवस्सुवः। तिलककुङ्कुमनादायः ओं भूर्भुवस्सुवः। एभिः कर्मचरिताभ्यो नमो नमः। हरि ओं श्रीस्तिकण्डं चन्द्रदिव्यं गण्डाग्नं सुमनोहरं पिलापेनासुराश्रेष्ठं चन्दनं प्रतिगृह्यतां चन्दनस्य महत्पुण्यं महत्कारकं देवताभ्यो देवानां परमात्मनिदानः। ओं नमो नारायणाय नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। नमस्कारं तं नमो नमः। ओं भूर्भुवस्सुवः। पवित्रकरणदेवताभ्यो नमस्कारं तं नमो नमः। भूर्भुवस्सुवः। चन्दनस्य चन्दन गुरुदेवताभ्यो नमः। चन्दनस्य महत्पुण्यं कारकं देवताभ्यो नमस्कारं। ओं पितृभ्यः स्वदायिभ्यः स्वदा नमः। पितामहेभ्यः स्वदायिभ्यः स्वदा नमः। प्रपितामहेभ्यः स्वदायिभ्यः स्वदा नमः। भूर्भुवस्सुवः। ओं नमो भगवते पितृदेवताभ्यो नमो नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। नमस्कारं तं नमो नमः। भूर्भुवस्सुवः। एभिः कर्मस्य देवताभ्यो नमो नमः। भूर्भुवस्सुवः। नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि। हरि ओं सर्वशक्तिदेवताभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। हरि परमात्मने प्रणनाथाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। पवित्रकरणदेवताभ्यो नमो नमः। विदुरसर्वदेवताभ्यो नमो नमः। तिलकनादाय ओं भूर्भुवस्सुवः। हरि ओं सहस्रशीर्षः पूरुकः सहस्राक्षः सहस्रपादां सभो मेघ सर्वूलं उर्ग एवेद्दधुस्तभं दधौतं च भागं मह उतावृतवशेषानो जलन्धेनातिरोहति एतावान् स महिमातो जायांश्च पूर्कः पादौश्च विश्वाभूतगन्धिः त्रिपादुदत्पुरुकः पादौश्येय भवत्पुनहं ततो विक्रम विक्रामजासनानसने अभि ततो विराल जायत विराधो अधिपूर्वकः सजातो अजरिकतपश्चात् भूमिमत पुरः तस्मात् जिज्ञासरहुतः संवृतं प्रकटाज्यं मां पशुस्ताञ्चक्रे वायव्यानारण्या ग्राम्यागते ओं त्र्यम्बकं जजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनं मह उर्वारुकमिवन्दनान् मृत्युमुक्षिममृतात् हरि ओं मह नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यव उतोत इकवे नमः बाहुभ्यां भूतते नमः साम सदा शिवाय नमः श्मशान देवता महादेवता पितृदिक सर्व समर्पयामि नमस्कारं तं नमस्करोमि एभिर् कर्मस संकल्प अधिकारं नमस्कारं पिताभ्यो नमः ओं भूर्भुवः स्वः श्री गणेशाय नमः भूर्भुवः विष्णुर्विष्णुर्विष्णुः श्रीमद्भगवत महाविष्णु अज्ञातप्रतमानस्य अद्य भ्रमणपराधे श्री श्रेतवारकल्पे वैवस्वन् मन्वन्तरे अष्टामयु कलियुगे कलि प्रथम चरणे भारतवर्षे जम्बूद्वीपमासे नत्कर्णिलमध्यमासनमासे एभिर्कर्मस्य हर्यादिदिनः चैत्रमासे शुक्लपक्षे सप्तमीं तिथौ आश्रमितायां श्रेष्ठकलायाम् आजः भ्रुभार्गववासरे शुभनक्षत्रे शुभयोगितकर्मद अन्त्येष्टित क्रियायां स्वस्मानेता महादेवसं परिपूर्ण अस्तु परिपूर्णः नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि भूर्भुवः स्वः हरि ओं मः ओं भूर्भुवः स्वः 3 बार कर रखिए विष्णवे नमः विष्णवे नमः विष्णुत् परिपूर्णस्तु अस्तुत् परिपूर्णः ओं नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि उपस्थिताभ्यो नमस्कारं तं नमो नमः उपस्थिताभिनमस्कारं अग्निर्देवता वादुदेवताभिनमस्कारं तं दीपनारायण देवताभ्यो नमो नमः एभिर्करसुप्रियता नमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि नमस्करोमि एभिर्देवताभिनमस्कारं नमो नमः भूर्भुवः स्वः हरि ओं मः पितृदेवताभिनमस्कारं तं समर्पयामि ओं भूर्भुवः स्वः नमस्कारं तं नमो नमः परिपूर्ण अस्तु परिपूर्णः पूर्ण हुआ। अभी किसी को स्पीच देनी है, किसी को भजन करने का है, तुम कर सकते हो।
हेलो, शिवोऽहं 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 अमर आत्मा सच्चिदानंद मैं हूँ। शिवोऽहं 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 जिसे शस्त्र काटे न अग्नि जलाए, गलावे न पानी न मृत्यु मिटावे, वही आत्मा सच्चिदानंद मैं हूँ। शिवोहम 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 शिवोहम। अमर आत्मा है मरणशील काया, सभी प्राणियों के जो भीतर समाया, वही आत्मा सच्चिदानंद मैं हूँ। शिवोहम 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 शिवोहम। जो व्यापक है जन जन में, वास जिसका, जो व्यापक है जन में है जिसका वास जिसका, नहीं तीन कालों में हो नाश जिसका, वही आत्मा सच्चिदानंद मैं हूँ। शिवोहम 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 शिवोहम। Can I say a few words for Dr. Puri? I have known Dr. Puri for less than 2 years or so, but not too many people will know that just like Judge Ketanji Jackson has created a history, Dr. Puri also created a history. He was the first judge nominated to the North Carolina Mother Millen Group. He was our judge who would judge the entertainment for our group, and we had a great time. I had a great time working with him because he was not only full of energy, joy, but one thing which he had similar to me was we would always be cheating while judging. And we always took sides, especially the women's side. So we enjoyed doing that. And I had a great time working with him. And I can assure all of you that he will be a very strong contender in the heaven for his next judgeship. I wish him peace. Thank you.
This is actually celebration of life of Dr. Puri. We all know him very well, how cheerful he was, and he will remain. We always call him Punjab da Puttar. He lived his life fully, always enjoyed. He was kind of a fatherly figure to us. If something we are doing wrong, he will shout, "Hold on." We will miss that hold on. For last 2-3 years, he was not able to walk properly, but still he used to come to our bhajan group so regularly. We had set a rule. Puri साहब, आप जब भी घर पहुंचोगे एक फोन कर देंगे. तो हम लोग कैरी से मॉरिसविल नहीं पहुंचते, मगर पुरी साहब कैरी से नाइटडेल पहले पहुंच जाते थे. So that kind of drive used to do, and Manoj, मैं पहुंच गया हूँ. And unfortunately last bhajan ke baad he had a fall and went through this. But yes, always lived his life, always enjoyed talking with him, any political matter. And one thing we learned from him is India-Pakistan, जो भी dividation हुआ था, those horrible stories Puri Sahib used to tell us. And that's how we connected with the history a little bit also, as well. And then whether it is a stock market, whether it is a political scenario, Puri Sahib would be there, his opinions would be there. And when he is talking, you have to listen to him. Otherwise, hold on would come any time. And that kind of love and authority he had on us. We'll miss him. But anyway, he lived his life fully. And we really, Punjab da Puttar from the beginning. And Puri Aunty, we are with you. So please, this is on your family, but I'm pretty sure he lived his life. So we have to celebrate his life. So we will sing Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram. Puri Sahib used to love this bhajan. And he will always, while we're doing the bhajan, Puri Sahib used to sit on the sofa and Puri Sahib, aapki farmaish, and he will give one or two farmaish always. So, Talia Bajao is one, he always used to say that. We can do Talia Bajao as well if you want, and let's do that because he always used to like that. So I'm going to bring up that and we'll do that.
Page number 34.
What's 34?
34.
तालियां बजाओ सारे तालियां बजाओ, तालियां बजाओ सारे तालियां बजाओ, खुशियां मनाओ सारे खुशियां मनाओ, हर कोई यही बोले मेरे राम ने आना, हर कोई यही बोले मेरे राम ने आना, चारों तरफ फूल बरसाओ, चारों तरफ फूल बरसाओ, पता नहीं राम कहाँ से आए, पता नहीं राम कहाँ से आए, यहाँ से आए वहाँ से आए, यहाँ से आए वहाँ से आए, सब दरवाजे खोलो मेरे राम ने आना, सब दरवाजे खोलो मेरे राम ने आना, तालियां बजाओ सारे तालियां बजाओ, खुशियां मनाओ सारे खुशियां मनाओ, हर कोई यही बोले मेरे राम ने आना, हर कोई यही बोले मेरे राम ने आना, राम जी आए तो कहाँ बिठाओ, राम जी आए तो कहाँ बिठाओ, यहाँ बिठाओ वहाँ बिठाओ, यहाँ बिठाओ वहाँ बिठाओ, हृदय के पट खोलो मेरे राम ने आना, हृदय के पट खोलो मेरे राम ने आना, तालियां बजाओ सारे तालियां बजाओ, खुशियां मनाओ सारे खुशियां मनाओ, हर कोई यही बोले मेरे राम ने आना, हर कोई यही बोले मेरे राम ने आना, राम जी आए तो फूल बरसाओ, फूलों की सेज पे उनको बिठाओ, आ गए ओले बोले मेरे राम ने आना, आ गए ओले बोले मेरे राम ने आना, तालियां बजाओ सारे तालियां बजाओ, खुशियां मनाओ सारे खुशियां मनाओ, हर कोई यही बोले मेरे राम ने आना, हर कोई यही this bhajan will always be dedicated to Puri Sahib whenever we will sing. So Puri Sahib will miss you. Astoma Sadgamiye Tam Sorma Jyotirgamiye Mrityurma Amrityame Om Shanti. If anybody wants to say a few words.
What I want to talk about is the last hour of Puri Sahib's life. I would consider at least we were fortunate enough to be there. Sulochana and I, we arrived maybe an hour and a half before his passing away. It was around 7 p.m. And in my life, this was my first experience. I never really seen anybody dying or in the last few minutes or an hour or so. But what I want to talk to about how peaceful that experience was. I know such things happened before that, and I talked to Dr. Kanchan that we chatted a little bit trying to see what had happened before, because when we arrived, there was no dripping, everything was standby. So I talked to her what had happened a little bit, because the repeater pumps were there, were a lot of antibiotics, a lot of things were given, everything was stopped. So I was watching this thing carefully, trying to really understand. The pulse or heartbeat was around 60. And if they know, I was only looking at him and no other conversation. Because this was such a really an extraordinary experience, if I may call it for me, that I'm watching the pulse rate, I'm watching his breathing, his sound, and even so 55, 60, 45, 60, just going back and forth like that. At the end, when it started going below around 40 or 30, it suddenly dropped to 0. And I could see his mouth, the sound, the breathing like that, just getting decreasing, in the sense. And I couldn't believe that, such a calm demeanor, I just felt he was going to wake up and walk away from here. We felt, even though pulse rate was 0, I said, wow, he's going to, because there was no change in his facial expression, really looked very nice. So this is something I will remember in the sense, this experience that I felt, and I thought I want to share with you, that he passed, he lived life like Manoj and everybody has said, but he passed away peacefully. It was such a peace coming from his face. So I think those few minutes, an hour in life, that probably are more important in our lives, how peacefully we pass away. So thank you.
समय हो तो एक शब्द दो मिनट के एक्चुअली में क्या था कि हमारे ग्रुप के सीनियर मेंबर हैं, हमारा एक ग्रुप है सीनियर एंटरटेनमेंट ग्रुप जिसके सीनियर मोस्ट मेंबर थे, और हम हर मंडे को भजन करते थे और हर शुक्रवार को गपशप करते थे। तो आज मैं इनको एक भजन सुनाऊंगा और एक थोड़ा गपशप के लिए 2-3 चीज़ें कहूँगा। तो मैं पहले भजन से शुरू करता हूँ। जिंदगी किराए का घर है, एक न एक दिन बदलना पड़ेगा, जिंदगी किराए का घर है, एक न एक दिन बदलना पड़ेगा। मौत जब तुझको आवाज देगी, घर से बाहर निकलना पड़ेगा। मौत जब तुझको आवाज देगी, घर से बाहर निकलना पड़ेगा। शाम के बाद होगा सवेरा, देखना है अगर दिन सुनहरा। शाम के बाद होगा सवेरा, देखना है अगर दिन सुनहरा। पाँव फूलों पे रखने से पहले तुझको कांटों पे चलना पड़ेगा। पाँव फूलों पे रखने से पहले तुझको कांटों पे चलना पड़ेगा। जिंदगी किराए का घर है, एक न एक दिन बदलना पड़ेगा। रूठ कर मुझसे हो जाने वाले, जाने से पहले मुझको इतना बता दे। रूठ कर मुझसे हो जाने वाले, जाने से पहले मुझको इतना बता दे। तेरी यादों की जलती चिता में कब तक मुझको जलना पड़ेगा। तेरी यादों की जलती चिता में कब तक मुझको जलना पड़ेगा। जिंदगी एक किराए का घर है, एक न एक दिन बदलना पड़ेगा। मौत जब तुझको आवाज देगी, घर से बाहर निकलना पड़ेगा। मौत जब तुझको आवाज देगी, घर से बाहर निकलना पड़ेगा। इसी के साथ में मैं दो चार लाइनें आज हम सभी पुरी साहब की अंत्येष्टि की ये सेलिब्रेशन ही है, फाइनल जो करते हैं हम। पुरी साहब को मैं 11 साल से मैं यहाँ आया था, मिलना ही होता था। मंदिर में 2 मिनट के लिए मिलते थे, पर इतने क्लोज नहीं थे जितने कि हम पिछले 2 सालों में कोविड के दौरान आपस में मिलते जुलते रहे हैं वर्चुअली। तो वर्चुअली हमारा मतलब बॉन्ड इतना स्ट्रांग हो गया कि हमारे मतलब ग्रुप के ये स्ट्रॉन्ग पिलर थे एक्चुअल में। और इनका ही वॉज वेरी मच पंक्चुअल, बस एवरी टाइम मैंने 11 बजे मीटिंग खोलनी है तो ये 5 मिनट कम 11 पे बैठे होते। तो फर्स्ट द मैन आई कुड सी पुरी साहब बैठे। सो इन 2 सालों में इनके एटीट्यूड में भी काफ़ी फर्क आया। पहले पुरी साहब वो नहीं थे जो बाद में 2 साल हम सबसे, हमारा जितने भी ग्रुप के मेंबर यहाँ बैठे हैं सबको पता है कि काफ़ी हमारा मेल जोल इतना बढ़ गया था कि हर चीज़ को गुस्सा भी नहीं करते थे। वैसे थोड़ा बहुत उनकी नेचर में था, हाँ, तो काफ़ी मतलब चेंज हो गए थे। So everyone came close, very close to him. शुक्रवार को हम जो थे गपशप करते थे। गपशप के शुरू से 2-3 मतलब लाइनें दोस्तों के लिए मुझे बोलनी होती थी, तो मैं उनको सुनाता था तो बड़े सुनते थे। तो आज भी मैं इनको जाती दफ़ा ये लाइनें सुनाना चाहता हूँ कि जब दोस्ती की दास्तान वक्त सुनाएगा, हमको भी कोई शख्स याद आएगा। जब दोस्ती की दास्तान वक्त सुनाएगा, हमको भी कोई शख्स याद आएगा। तब भूल जाएंगे जिंदगी के गमों को, जब सूरजपुरी के साथ गुजरा वक्त याद आएगा। तब भूल जाएंगे जिंदगी के गमों को, जब सूरजपुरी के साथ गुजरा वक्त याद आएगा। मुश्किल है इस यारी को भुला पाना, मुश्किल है इस यारी को भुला पाना, मुश्किल है तुम्हें यादों से मिटा पाना, मुश्किल है तुम्हें यादों से मिटा पाना। तुम्हें कीमती तोहफा थे दोस्ती का, नामुमकिन है इस तोहफे की कीमत चुका पाना। तुम्हें कीमती तोहफा थे दोस्ती का, नामुमकिन है इस तोहफे की कीमत चुका पाना। सो महफिल में कुछ तो सुनाना पड़ता है, गम छुपाकर मुस्कुराना पड़ता है। महफिल में कुछ तो सुनाना पड़ता है, गम छुपाकर मुस्कुराना पड़ता है। कल तक सूरजपुरी के हम भी थे दोस्त, आज ये हमें छोड़ काफिल से दोस्ती बनाए बैठे। आज ये हमें छोड़ काफिल से दोस्ती बनाए बैठे हैं। इन्हीं चंद शब्दों के साथ मैं ओम शांति।
Good morning. I'm from Charlotte, let me put it that way. Let me start my life. My wife and I got together with Puri Saab for the last 30 years. Met him in 1992. Ever since then, we became very close. And my wife thought she is well, okay. She considered him his own brother. So she asked me to play this song. Because she couldn't come today, she had a heart attack last weekend. So she's very weak right now. But she's looking at life doing her best. But she asked me to play this song on behalf of her. And most of you people know this song, old timers especially. And I would like to play this song. And if you all please, no, I'm sure you all know about this. second. I would like to mention this people, the language perhaps. What is said here is about brother, what she, come on. I'm taking too long, give me a second, guys. What she's saying is, my brother, my moon, my priceless gift. In your place, I can never take anything that this world has to offer. The breeze blows after bridging by your breath. The bloom starts after a glimpse of your face. If you hide from my vision, even for one moment, my eyes will search for you in every direction. My brother, my moon, my priceless gem. In your place, I can never take anything in the world he has to offer you. But the gardens of your self, I have plucked indoor flowers of hope. May that day come and those becomes realized. The beautiful dreams that we have, that I dream for you. So, again, my wife will miss him very much. So do I. And if I can, you have kumkum. You have kumkum.
Kumkum. Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
Maybe. And we are some we're South Indians, and we have different type of doing rituals. So she asked me to put kumkum on his face.
Chandan.
हरिओं सस्तिना इंद्रदसवाहां सस्तिनः पूखा विषवेदाहां सस्तिनतारक्षरिष्टनेमिः सस्तिनोः बृहस्पतिदातु कंकं चन्द्रतिलकस्य.
Thank you.
I will recite few slokas from the Gita. धर्म क्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायोत्सव नामकः पांडवस्य एव किं कुर्वत् संजय यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णः यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीविजयोर्भूति ध्रुवाग्निर्तिर्भतिर्मम नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्तापो न शोष्यति भावकः इदं परमं गुह्यं मद्भक्ते विधास्यते भक्तिं मय परां कृत्वा मामय वैश्यते संशयः यदा यदा धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सदाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतं धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे यस्मिन् कर्मेन्द्रियाणमनसा नियम्य वर्तते कर्मेन्द्रियं कर्मयोगम् अहं तत् नियतं कुरु कर्मत्वं कर्मे आयोज सर्वदा शरीर यात्रापि सत्ये प्रसद्येन कर्मणा दिव्यमाल्याम्बरधरं देवं दिव्यगन्धानुलोपनं सर्वेश्वरमयं देवम् अनन्तो विच्युतो. I don't want to go too far. I just came to see my friend Puri. I know him for about 40 years ago. Very good friend, and I am so sorry to miss him. I always think about him, and now I will really feel he was a very good friend of mine. I feel so bad to leave, to miss him there. That's all I think.
so much for coming out and honoring my dad and supporting my mom. My dad did see a lot of history, as people have said. I mean, he lived with partition. He talked about when the British were in India. His dad was a civil engineer and worked with the British, and they would be on the border of Afghanistan. And you couldn't leave the house without armed bodyguards, and the women couldn't leave the house without all the men in the family around them, and then armed bodyguards. And he's lived through a lot of dangerous kind of times. He's seen a lot. And through it all, he always had this sense of adventure. When he was a little boy, he loved looking at maps and globes, and he wanted to see the world. And he did. He did the things he wanted to do. He was a professor, and he found all kinds of conferences and research opportunities that traveled everywhere. He would joke about, you could open his desk drawer in his office, and there were like the next 4 or 5 airplane tickets on there, waiting for the next conference and convention and meeting he was going to. He fully enjoyed every minute of his career. He enjoyed all the friends he had. And that sense of adventure brought him all the way from India to here. When I was born in Ambala. Well, after the partition, both sets of my grandparents ended up in Med. And then my dad got a job in Ambala, and it sounded like a really great job. He talked about having dinner at the same table with Nehru. He and my mom had dinner with Nehru. I mean, he did all kinds of exciting things. But he was kind of high up in local government. He was a big fish in a small pond, and he just had to see the rest of the world. So he left that, which sounded really great to me, but he came here. And coming here was really brave. I mean, he left India with 100 rupees, which was like $8. By the time he landed in this country, he was down at 5 or 6. His flight didn't get to where it was supposed to go. He didn't have money for a hotel and dinner and breakfast. You know, he got the airlines helping him out, but he started with that. He started with absolutely nothing. Made a career for himself, brought me and my mom here. My brother, of course, was born here. And he made a life where we always felt loved and safe. And everything he had gone through sounded worlds away from the life he gave me and my brother. So I know he lived at least 90 years. We don't really have a birth certificate. And he had a good life. He did everything he wanted to do. But this last couple of years has been hard because of the back surgery and all. This past month, after he broke his hip, he was starting to do better. He was working physical therapy. We thought he was going to be coming around like he's come around from so many things before. He's had heart surgery, he's had cancer, he's had back surgery. We really thought, he'll bounce back again, but this time he just got sicker and sicker, and he knew. He was saying, I'm so uncomfortable. This is too much. This is no way to live. I think I've passed my time. So he kind of knew. And up until the very end, that morning, that he passed away. He was still going through his checklist of taking care of everything. He knew Mom had a car got towed in the middle of all this horrible stuff going on in our family. So he was making sure my brother went and got her car. He wanted to make sure the tax forms were signed. He was taking care of business till the very end. But he was just getting so short of breath. And he was so thirsty, and you couldn't let him have a sip of water because it would get in his lungs and he would drown. It was just awful to watch. And so they finally did say, you know, we can keep being aggressive with the antibiotics and the pressure medicines and the heart medicines, and we're not really doing but delaying death at this point. His body was just shutting down. So after a couple of days of being really uncomfortable, short of breath and in pain and thirsty and just awful, he was saying, I just want to rest. I just want to rest. So his last few hours really were very peaceful. And I'm so thankful that when he did open his eyes and look around the room, he saw all of the friends and family there. My brother, my husband, my sister-in-law were with him. He had some friends from the budgeting group that actually were with him saying some budgets, and I know he couldn't open his eyes and talk to you, but I think he could hear that. And I think that's as good as it gets. You can't leave this world in a better state. So at this point, all I can do is thank everybody for supporting my mom.
मिसेस पुरी की एक इच्छा है कि मैं वो कह रही थी श्री रामचंद्र गोपाल भजमन गाना तुम उनका बहुत मन है। वो मंदिर आते थे तो पुरी जी भी बहुत पसंद करते थे उनकी प्रार्थना को। तो आप सब लोग साथ देना, पता नहीं मेरा गला रुंध जाएगा, गा पाऊंगी कि नहीं। तो रामचंद्र कृपाल भजमन हरण भव भय दारुणम् नव कंज लोचन कंज मुख कर कंज पद कंजारुणम् कंदर्प अगणित अमित छवि नव नील नीरज सुंदरम् पटपीतमानभुतडित रुचि शुचि नौमि जनक सुतावरम् वधुदीन बन्धु दिनेश दानव दैत्य वंश निकन्दनम् रघुनन्द आनन्द कन्द कौशल चन्द दशरथ नन्दनम् कुंडल तिलक चारु उदारु अंग विभूषणम् आजान भुज शर चाप धर संग्रामरित कर दूषणम् इति वदति तुलसीदास शंकर शेष मुनि मनरंजनम् मम हृदय कंज निवास कुरु कामारि कलदल गंजनम् मनुजाहि राजउ बिलहि सोबरु सहज सुंदर सावरो करुणा निधान सुजान शील स्नेह जान करावरो यही बाति गौरी अशीष सुनि सिय सहित हिय हर्षित हरि तुलसी भवानी पुनि 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 मुदित मन मंदिर चली जान गौरी अनुकूल सिय हर्षित जाय करी मंजुल मंगल मूल बामा सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। हमेशा हमारे दिल में रहेंगे दीदी। मणि जी, हम आप सब एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली हैं, कुछ भी कभी भी किसी भी चीज की जरूरत सब लोग हाजिर हैं।
So good morning, everyone. I'm Navin Puri. I'm his son. And I just want to make sure that everybody understands that this should be a happy occasion, not a sad one. My dad lived his life the way he wanted to live it, and no one could tell him otherwise. So you all should be happy that he got to do that. And he did great because, as my sister laid out in the chronology, he came from India, he set up his own life here, he set up his family here, he got, I was born here. And he has a legacy. I mean, he has a legacy in multiple parts of the community. He has a legacy in Charlotte. He has a legacy in Raleigh. My parents are founding members of 2 temples here. So, they were founding members of the Charlotte Temple. They've been founding members of the Raleigh Temple. There's a legacy that goes on, and that'll live on forever. So no one should be walking away here really sad and upset. I mean, like I said, he did really good for being 91. And even a few years ago, as my sister alluded to, He had a back surgery, and quite honestly, he was in his mid-80s when that occurred, and he came out of that, and he was still driving and walking, and that doesn't happen in a lot of 20-year-olds. So you have to give it up for him. This is a tough guy, and nothing was going to take him down. So he went peacefully. We're happy about that. He went without pain. We're happy about that. So again, just wanted to reiterate that. No one should be walking out here all sad and upset. He lived his life his way. He did good. He has a legacy. He had a legacy for his children. He has a legacy for his great-grandchildren. And that's what should be the final message. So thank you everyone for coming. Thanks for the incredible support. This Indian community was phenomenal this last week here. I mean, you guys were phenomenal helping him in ICU, phenomenal in helping us get all this arranged in a really quick amount of time. And I know there's several more steps we have to go through, but I know you guys are going to be there. But just talked about it. And you guys are going to be there every step of the way. So we thank you all as a family for doing that. So that's it. Thank you all.
उपवितं समर्पयामि।
If you can call those guys.
Okay.
Flowers, please. Yeah. So we'll put the flowers and go outside, and then we'll take into the cremation. Come here, you stand here. Yeah. So people will
Harihi Om
put the
Maha.
flowers, they will take the flowers and put it on the body.
Got all this?
Uh-huh.
And then he's going to put.
No, definitely.
Got it. That makes sense. Got it.
अंकल आप बाद में करेंगे?
हाँ अभी करके
ठीक।